I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. I want to look at the issue of what happened yesterday in federal court down in Washington, D.C. with the conviction and the sentence and the verdict coming in against the Oath Keepers. 5 of them were convicted on yesterday, too. Stuart Rhodes and Kelly Meggs were both convicted on seditious conspiracy with a sentence that carries as much as 20 years in a federal pen, along with obstruction of a political process, where the others also convicted as well. Let me say this to you. When we did our Gettysburg racial and reconciliation meeting, I contacted the Philadelphia leader of the Oath Keepers. This is going back, 2012, 2014. So we're looking at least, 7, 8 years. And the Philadelphia chapter of the Oath Keepers said they would come. They would come in their military garb. Many of them are retired. They Oath Keepers. And many of them have been in the military, the police, and some of them are retirees. They said they would come, and they would stand with me in Gettysburg. And if you have seen some of our promos, you've seen those men that carrying those flags at that event at Gettysburg. And they invited me to become an Oath Keeper, and I did. Now, in my acceptance of being a member of the Oath Keepers, I did not accept that membership with the express intent to overthrow our government. That was not my intent. My intent was to uphold the Constitution, to uphold the oaths that we take that make us a proud and prosperous nation. I in no wise intended to ever seek to overthrow or undo the process of our nation. Now, maybe that came as a theory and a part of the process of Oath Keepers on a national basis, came sometime later. But I think I have to tell you that I did join the Oath Keepers. I did. And the other thing is that the people they accepted in Oath Keepers had been someone who had taken a previous oath, either to the military or to police or to some other constitutional governmental agency. And I have taken an oath to neither one of those, but they allowed me in because they heard my passion for this nation. Having said that, I have met with Stuart Rhodes. I've had lunch with him. I've been in conferences with him. He spoke at one of our meetings in Gettysburg. He addressed us there. I addressed a meeting out in the Ohio chapter of Oath Keepers. I flew out to Detroit and then went into Ohio, and Stuart and I, we had dinner together. We had lunch together. So I know him well, and he knows me well. And now to see him get, convicted on yesterday, and I've been watching the trial very carefully and wondering when I should reveal to you that, that I'm an Oath Keeper, but I'm not of the mindset of overthrowing our nation. Let's be clear. I love America. I'm not of the mind. I was once a supporter of Tribulation Trump, Donald Trump. I was once a supporter of him, but I do not now. I do not now, and I've explained why I do not. Ms. Inja, put it back up again. Thank you so very much for that. Put it back. But I do want to say I think that it would be hypocritical of me. And while I think that our nation, I don't know what happened in the election. I don't. I would like to think that it was a fair election. I'd like to think that Joe Biden won that election fair and square. Now, please listen to me very carefully if you're going to judge me. But my friends, I want to tell you, the things I've had happen to me in court, the things I've had happen to me in society, the things I've had happen to me that paraded itself as justice was anything but that. Do I believe that it's possible that corruption could have influenced the 2020 election? And I'm not an election denier. Joe Biden is the president, as I understand it right now. And as I understand it, Donald Trump lost. But how did he lose might be another question. It might be a deeper, more poignant question. How did he lose? I would have never gone down to Washington, D.C. I would have never gone down there to overthrow the government. I would have never done that. Not in a million years, not in a million lifetimes. I would have never done that. And for the past 5 years, I've tried to warn people about Donald Trump, that he is a con man. He is not a conservative. He is about as liberal as they get. He's more liberal than Don Lemon on CNN, Donald Trump is. But he understands how to use people. He's one of the best I've ever seen do it. He's good. The man's good. He's a servant of Satan. I've tried to in my broadcast. A lot of my friends from across the conservative, if you will, media, Tea Party track deserted me because I would not step further into the lies and treachery of Donald Trump. And I have to tell you, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I separated myself from him years, even before he won the presidency. I separated myself from him because perhaps I would have been down there. I would have been caught up, because the deeper you get into it, the deeper you get into the spin, the deeper you get into the whole process, the worse it becomes, and you can't get out of it. I got out of it soon. Having said that, I do plan to communicate to Stewart Rhodes. I do. And I didn't have to tell you this. I didn't have to tell you that I'm an oath keeper. I didn't have to tell you that. Now, again, I do not subscribe to overthrowing our nation. I don't subscribe to that, and I will not support nor stand by anybody who does. But I have to tell you, this man and we sat down and had dinner together. He spoke at one of my meetings in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. We've had communications, and he's treated me as an honorable man. This man you see here. Am I trying to cleanse my soul? Leave that there, Miss Cindy, there. Am I trying to cleanse my soul? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I believe at the time I joined the Oath Keepers that this nation was going in the wrong direction. And do I need to tell you now that this nation is a hell of a lot worse now than it was then? It's just headed in the wrong direction. I saw the political process as being utterly corrupt. I tell you what, here, let me tell you what I do think about presidential elections. I think the election that was dedicated and given to Hillary Clinton was stolen by Barack Hussein Obama and a lot of other business people who stole that election from and that presidency twice. They stole it from Hillary Clinton. Now, I'm not sitting here saying Joe Biden stole it from Trump. That's all. But I will I will stand in the middle of Times Square. I'll stand in Macy's showcase window and say, I know in my heart that the election, the 2008 election, was stolen from Hillary Clinton and given to Barack Hussein, the long-legged Mac Daddy Obama, and come right back around in 2016, and they stole it again. The same thieves that stole the election from Hillary in 2014 stole it from 2008, stole it from her in 2016. I'm willing to testify in court. I am. I'm willing to testify. Now, about 2020, I don't know. I said I don't know. But I think you ought to know. I think you ought to know that they made Pastor Manning a member of the Oath Keepers. I think you ought to know. Now, I don't want to be no hypocrite. I looked at my membership card the other day. I don't want to be nobody's hypocrite. Now, this can cost me some, if you will, followers or members or listeners or supporters, then so be it. So be it. So be it. But I ain't going to be nobody's hypocrite now. I ain't going to be nobody's hypocrite. Now, again, I'll say again and again and again and again that I'm not, and I will not, if Oath Keepers requires of me to arm myself or to try in any way to overthrow this nation and this government, I ain't going. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to do it. because I love America. But I do have to tell you that there does come a time when a nation is so corrupt that one must defend itself against its corruption. Is that time now? And is what the Oath Keepers did, was that the appropriate? I'm not going to make a judgment on that. What I will do, I will respect the decision of the federal court in D.C. and the jury's verdict. I'll respect that. I'll respect that verdict. I'll respect the trial. I will. But I can tell you this, that there comes a time when a nation can become so corrupt that you have to have a revolutionary war. Now, I'm not here promoting that. I just don't want to be a hypocrite. And I've been watching, I've said I'm repeating myself, and I say, Pastor Manny, move on because you're repeating yourself. Well, I'm going to leave you alone in just a moment. You can go about your business after this. But I've been watching this trial. And, it isn't like I know of Stuart Rhodes. I know the man. I mean, we've had, you talk about Kanye West and Nick Fuentes having dinner with Trump. I had dinner with this man. We've been in meetings across America together, at least in Ohio and in Pennsylvania. I think I owe it to him, and I owe it to Jesus and to you to tell you that, I'm a member of the Oath Keepers, and I did not. After January 6th, I did not withdraw my membership or denounce my membership. If I need to do that, if that becomes something I need to do as an issue, I'll consider it. But I'm praying for Stuart Rhodes and for the others as well. I have to say this, and I'm going to let you go. We're living in a very corrupt time, and I'm sure you know that there is much corruption. I tell you what I believe. I believe that the election between Richard Nixon and John Kennedy in 1964, whatever it was, I believe that it was hijacked by Mayor Daley out there in Chicago, and that Richard Nixon should have been the president, and John Kennedy, the son of a trafficker in bootleg liquor, became the president because of money and influence. That's what I believe. I'm willing to go to jail if anybody wants to call me un-American for believing it. I believe that John Kennedy and his daddy, bootlegger, I believe that's what took place with that presidential election. That's what I believe. I believe that Barack Hussein Obama and a bunch of deep-pocketed, if you will, people with money here in America stole the election from Hillary Clinton. George Soros at the head of it. George Soros at the head of the pack and a bunch of other globalists stole the election from Hillary Clinton twice. Now you want to put me in jail? Want to stop being a follower? You want to stop listening to me because I believe that? Well, I believe it. I believe it. And so now, is it possible that the election could have been stolen? I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that it's happened before. That's what I'm saying. And I'm also saying that I would never have charged up Capitol Hill or taken up arms against this nation, because I do believe it. I would have taken it to the Lord in prayer. That's what I would have taken it to the Lord in prayer. When Barack Obama stole the election from Hillary Clinton, I took it to the Lord in prayer. I feel better that I've said these things to you. I feel better. And I'm going to contact Stewart Rhodes, and there are more people in the Oath Keepers. But listen, America's corrupt. And anybody who says that the Democrats' hands are clean, that they've never done anything wrong, that their bathroom, if you will, entrances and exits, occupation don't smell, only Republicans or conservatives are the only wicked ones, is bias. And bias is too cute a word. We're in the tribulation. That's what we are. We're in the tribulation. God told me, God, his name is Jesus, told me Donald John Trump is the biggest con man that ever lived. He's a servant of Satan. God also told me that Barack Hussein Obama, biggest fraud that ever lived. He's the son of Satan. Now, me, I'm the Lord's servant. That's who I am. That's who I am. That's who I am.
And let me just say this. I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not a Democrat. Definitely ain't that. I'm not a Republican. Sure enough, stomped on ain't that. I'm not a liberal. Ain't gonna never be. And I'm not a conservative. I'm not that. I'm not a red boy or a blue boy. I'm the Lord's servant. Listen, I'm not here in support of Joe Biden and Camelback ain't Black Harris. The last thing on the planet Earth would be I'd be supporting them. I'm not. I don't have anything kind to say about them. I'm not here in support of Trump or any of the Trump supporters. I'm not. I'm the Lord's servant. I ain't on nobody's side. I'm on the Lord's side. Let's be clear. All right, they'll be calling me a Biden supporter and I done flipped the wig and this, that, and the other. I did endorse Trump. I'll admit that I did, but not now.